Now, what time would your party start, let's say?
Like 9:30.
Really, that early?
Yeah.
I could make that.
Yeah.
But I could think of you of starting a party at like midnight. Like, what time will it go till?
That's a different type of party, though.
Uh-huh.
It'll go from like 9:30 to like maybe 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock. And then, you know, we have the top 2 floors of the hotel.
Mm-hmm. And then it will carry on there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then no, I mean the after party.
Mm-hmm. No, I know about them.
Y'all, the moment we started stringing the clues together about y'all, it was like the whole facade started crumbling, one jaw-dropping secret at a time. And now, baby, brace yourself, because it looks like none other than Steven Twitch Boss has officially stepped into the spotlight of this mess. We're talking about the same Twitch who lit up every single episode of the Ellen DeGeneres Show, dancing his heart out, beaming with joy, and making America fall in love with his spirit. But honey, behind those smiles and killer moves, there was something dark, something twisted, something no one was supposed to find out.
Yo, Ellen, we go so far back. You don't tell these people how far back we go.
I know, but I wear t-shirts. I don't know what that means. Anyway, all right, let's...
I mean...
You roll that.
Okay.
All right.
I keep this. Take 2 if the joke didn't work. I
No, it's okay.
I don't want no problems.
No, it's okay.
No, hold on. Hey, so...
Let's be real. tWitch wasn't just Ellen's sidekick, he was the very heartbeat of that show. The energy, the soul. But what if I told you there's a haunting theory spreading like wildfire? That tWitch didn't just give up, that he was actually planning to expose the dark underbelly of Hollywood, include the freak-offs. Yes, the infamous Diddy parties that are whispered about but never spoken out loud. And guess who allegedly had something to do with it? Yep, Ellen DeGeneres herself. People are saying tWitch knew too much. He saw too much. And once he started speaking up just a little bit too loudly, that's when things started spiraling fast.
When do you stay up till?
I stay up till like maybe 6 in the morning. I'm back up at like 10:30, 11.
6 in the morning. What do you do every night till 6 in the morning? You don't go to clubs every night.
No, I mean, I make love a lot. And, you know,
That's
Ellen,
my favorite answer ever.
I told you when I came on the show I was going to be completely honest and expose myself to the world.
Think about it. tWitch was with Ellen everywhere. Red carpets, exclusive events, celebrity-only after parties. And now fans are asking, did he see something he shouldn't have? Was he dragged into those notorious secret parties that no one's supposed to talk about? Because, here's the kicker, there was a note left behind, that much is fact. And while authorities didn't reveal what it said exactly, the LAPD confirmed it mentioned past challenges. But baby, hold on tight because it gets shadier. Diddy's name? It was right in the center of it all. People are screaming that this voicemail exposes what really went down behind those velvet ropes. And the twist? They're saying this wasn't just a mental health crisis. It was a cover-up. And don't forget, just before all this went down, tWitch was posting beautiful anniversary tributes to his wife, Allison. They were talking about having another baby, y'all. He had plans. So why would a man with so much love, so much joy, and so much to live for just suddenly end everything? People started digging, baby. They weren't buying the official story. And what they found? Child, it's damning. The whispers say tWitch was going to blow the lid off of something involving Ellen, that she was the one who set him up, that it was all carefully staged to make it look like he unalived himself when the truth might be something far, far darker. And then Todrick Hall stepped in.
When he was on Ellen and Ellen was being canceled, people were looking at him saying, why are you supporting this woman? And I think that is just a lot of pressure. Human beings are not designed to handle that much pressure. And when I was talking about my experience, his face was like, I know. And he was just like, it's a lot.
Todrick, who was friends with tWitch, straight up admitted that the pressure from Ellen's show was crushing. Don't forget, back in 2020, Ellen was under fire for that toxic workplace scandal. Employees accused her of turning a blind eye to racial discrimination, fear tactics, and emotional abuse behind the scenes. Ellen denied it all, of course, but claimed she didn't know about it. But fans didn't forget, and neither did tWitch.
As you may have heard, this summer there were allegations of a toxic work environment at our show. And then there was an investigation. I learned that things happened here that never should have happened. I take that very seriously, and I want to say I am so sorry to the people who were affected. I know that I'm in a position of privilege and power, and I realize that with that comes responsibility, and I take responsibility for what happens at my show. This is the Ellen DeGeneres Show. I am Ellen DeGeneres. My name is there. My name is there. My name is on underwear. We have had a lot of conversations over the last few weeks about the show, our workplace, and what we want for the future. We have made the necessary changes, and today we are starting a new chapter.
People believe it wasn't just the stress from the workplace scandal. No. They say tWitch accidentally stumbled into something much more sinister. Because Ellen wasn't just his boss, she was his friend. She took him to all kinds of Hollywood parties, including the ones allegedly hosted by Diddy himself. And don't act surprised, Diddy was practically a recurring guest on Ellen's show. He and Ellen were tight. There's literally a clip of Diddy begging her to come to one of his infamous parties. And when she didn't, it wasn't because she found the parties sketchy. No, baby. It was just because they were too far. Y'all catch that? So yeah, Ellen knew what was up. And she's even been spotted at some of those parties, the private ones. The ones that people whisper about in hushed tones because the things that went on inside, allegedly criminal. People even tied Ellen to the Wayfair trafficking conspiracy, where overpriced furniture listings were bizarrely named after missing children. And yes, her name was right in the middle of it all. So when Diddy's scandal started making headlines again, fans immediately thought about tWitch and what he might have seen, especially if that voicemail was real. The one that allegedly spilled the tea about those gatherings Ellen and Diddy were part of. Now the new theory? He was silenced. And the person who might know the most about it, buckle up, because here comes Allison Holker.
So tell me about your birthday party. Am I invited?
Yes. Yes, you're definitely invited. I invite you to all my parties. You just haven't seemed to show up.
No, well, is it on the East Coast?
Yes.
Well, that's why. Why don't you have one here on the West Coast? Because I work all the time.
Okay, well, maybe I have one next time.
So get this, when tWitch didn't come home, Allison didn't call him. She didn't even wait. She went straight to the police. It's like she already knew something horrible had happened. And then when she started doing interviews a few months later, fans were side-eyeing her so hard. Her tone, emotionless. Her vibe, cold. And the things she said, too much. She admitted that while preparing tWitch's funeral clothes, she found boxes of substances, shrooms, pills, even drugs she had to Google, hidden in his shoes. And remember, she always said they were open with each other, that they talked about his weed use, that he'd go outside and smoke at night to wind down. So why the sudden bombshell about all these hidden things? Allison went on to say that in his final days, tWitch was withdrawn, showering less, smoking more, saying he was low, but always choosing his words carefully. Then she said something that gave people chills. She said she went through his journals after his death and realized he'd been hiding things, deep pain, childhood trauma. She said he wrote about being essayed by a male figure when he was young, something that haunted him all his life. And people were like, wait, why is she sharing all this? Because instead of honoring his memory, it felt like she was shaping a narrative, one that didn't add up, especially when tWitch's own family started speaking out. So here's where the whole thing just spirals into madness, because when Allison started airing tWitch's personal demons like she was reading a recipe from a cookbook, tWitch's own family said enough is enough. Enter Darielle, TWH cousin and honey. She came with the heat and receipts. Darielle came forward and shocked fans by claiming that Allison forced the family to sign NDAs just to attend TWH funeral. Yes, you heard that right.
It was a really scary moment in my life to figure that out, but it also helped me process that he was going through so much and he was hiding so much, and there must have been a lot of shame in that. And he was wrestling with a lot inside himself, and he was trying to self-medicate and cope with all those feelings because he didn't want to put it on anyone.
She posted online, "This crazy woman made me and his actual family sign an NDA for a funeral." Darielle wasn't done there. She blasted Allison for allegedly trying to erase tWitch's family from the narrative, said that Allison wasn't letting them see the kids, wasn't allowing proper grieving, and was straight up lying about who tWitch really was. Darrell's exact words, she's been trying to tarnish his legacy and refuses to let the Boss family see the children, only to exploit and lie on my cousin. Okay, my God. Then comes Dre, tWitch's brother, who took to Instagram to back it all up. He said the Boss family, his mother, grandparents, had been shut out ever since tWitch died. They were grieving, they were mourning, but they were also being iced out. Dre made it clear that Allison had conditions, and those conditions came in the form of another DA. Apparently, Allison handed over a contract to the family from family events. From tWitch's legosity, now people are whispering, what the hell was she hiding in that NDA? Why would she be so terrified of them speaking out? Why did access to the kids depend on keeping their mouths shut? Sources close to the family say this wasn't about grief. This was about control. This was about covering tracks. And then there's what she might have been covering up. Because remember that voicemail? The one tWitch allegedly recorded right before his death? The one where he possibly exposed Diddy's freak-offs and everything that went on behind those closed doors? Well, baby, people believe Allison knew about that voicemail, and some are saying she might be hiding it. Let that sink in. Imagine the kind of power that voicemail could have, the kind of secrets it could expose. Some fans now believe tWitch tried to leave behind his truth, and someone made sure it never came out. And the moment people started realizing that, everything changed. People stopped talking about depression. They started talking about silencing. Because let's be real, what if this wasn't about mental illness at all? What if tWitch had simply seen too much? What if Ellen introduced him to the wrong circles? What if Diddy's parties weren't just Hollywood fun? What if tWitch was getting ready to tell the world about what really happened inside those houses? And then he was gone. So many now believe he didn't choose to go. They believe he was pushed. And guess what's getting people even more riled up? There's this belief floating around that tWitch left a digital footprint, that there's a voicemail or even a backup file floating around in cyberspace just waiting to be leaked. Imagine if that voicemail ever came out. It could take down Ellen, it could take down Diddy, it could shatter the facade of everything we've ever believed about clean, happy, fun-loving Hollywood. Because if America's favorite dancer was terrified enough to record his truth, knowing it could get him erased, then we are dealing with something so much darker than anyone ever imagined. And let's not forget, this isn't the first time Diddy's name has been tied to disturbing party allegations. Multiple lawsuits, multiple whispers, and now with this trial going on, it's all boiling back to the surface. And right in the center of the chaos, tWitch. He's not even here anymore, and he's still exposing truths people tried to. Why else would she talk like a publicist instead of a grieving wife? Why else would she air out personal journal entries about childhood abuse, drug use, and private moments? Maybe to distract, maybe to paint a narrative, because the truth might be so much bigger. So now the internet's left demanding answers. Was tWitch targeted? Was he dragged into a world he didn't understand until it was too late? Did he see things that broke him? And did he try to warn us? And is someone or multiple people working overtime to erase that message? The only thing we know for sure, the story we were given doesn't add up. He was in love. He was planning a future. He had so much to live for, but now he's gone, and in his place, a trail of broken truths, sealed contracts, and one voicemail people are still desperately searching for. So what now? We keep digging, we keep asking, and we keep screaming his name until someone finally gives us the truth. Because if Stephen tWitch Boss really tried to blow the whistle on the darkness hidden in the corners of Hollywood, then the least we can do is listen.